right, so just to kind of finally finish up, to put that period in the sentence, let's go around the table, around the room, around the world, whatever you want to call it, and figure out, what did you guys think of episode 2 of this series? Episode 2 of 6.
2 of 6.
2 of 6. There's only 6. Because in May, they got the Star Wars thing, and then in June or July, or whatever, they got Black Widow and Loki happening over the summer.
Oh, right.
So it's only 2 of 6. This is all we get. This is the second one out of 6. What do you guys think?
They need to have more of those.
Well, I'll let the comic guru go first.
Oh. Should we do it like the Coke, like your old Coke rating?
Oh, my Coke. Okay, like new Coke.
New Coke, Coke Classic,
New Coke,
Diet Coke, Coke Zero.
It might take another 20 minutes just to explain the Coke system.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Really sweet, somewhat sweet. It's okay.
Mexican
Not
Coke?
that good.
All right, we don't have to do that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like I would give it a classic Coke. I would say like,
And that's the top rated Coke.
Yeah,
in our opinion.
I would say it's high because of what they had to do for this particular episode. They did very well, which is introduce a lot of people, still have the action, and then still move the story forward. There's, like you said, there's still some weird parts, but yeah, I think it's still a solid episode. Like so far, it's just a really solid series. So yeah, I give it like a. If I had to give it
like a scale of 1 to 10,
8.
Let's do that. An 8, okay. And I'll agree with that. I'll say an 8 as well. And if I had to put it on your Coke scale, I'll put it at Mexican Coke. I think it's a little bit higher than classic Coke because it doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup. It has all that all natural sugar. But no, I really enjoyed it because I really was laughing. I enjoyed it. The interaction between those two guys. I'm glad they met up finally. You know, even though they had the it was a little contentious when they first met, right? Mm-hmm. They had the whole argument about wizards. Mm-hmm. I love that Doctor Strange is a wizard.
Yes, big three.
A sorcerer is a wizard without a hat. I thought that was funny. Mm-hmm. But I was laughing throughout this episode, and I love those two guys' dynamic because you know they don't get along, but it's like some deep down somewhere they do get along. Mm-hmm. You know, and they had that unifying person in Cap, and whether he's gone or he's still around or something or whatever, there's still something binding those two guys together, or else they wouldn't be in this episode together. So I enjoyed it. I thought the fight scene was cool. It was kind of like the parallel trucks with the Van Damme thing. So that was kind of without Van Damme straddling the two trucks. But I thought it was really cool. I enjoyed this episode. I'm glad to see these two guys together doing something, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, so I'll give it a Mexican Coke.
All right.
Okay. I don't think it's a Mexican Coke. I think it's a really well put together fountain drink. Like just nice and smooth, but not quite as good as Mexican Coke in the glass bottle.
All right, so let me explain that.
So that's new Coke for you.
Now we're going
exactly
available.
We're in the Coke hole. Can't get out.
Is the Mexican Coke.
All right, so you got Mexican Coke, Coke Classic, and when you're at the restaurant and you got to mix the syrup and the soda water and the CO2 together, you're talking about that mix. Which I would put like below like really canned classic Coke.
Like a really good mix.
So it's close to classic Coke. That's where I'd put it. Yeah. So it's about a 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It wasn't perfect, but it went down smooth. You know what I mean? So that's how I would put it.
And I forgot to put it on my scale 1 to 10. I said 8. Lee, where would you put it on scale 1
like
to 10?
A 7, maybe 6.5.
10 being the best, 1 being like
That's fair.
All right, cool. Scale 1 to 10. All right, Danny.
You know what? I like this one probably even more than I like the last one. I would say like every single time I watch these, especially when I know we're going to cover them. The first thing that happens on Friday morning when I wake up and I have my coffee is I put these on. Like whatever show it is, it's WandaVision, it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, whatever, Mandalorian, I put it on and I'll have it on the background while I'm having my coffee and checking my email and everything like that. And generally, I can do what I'm doing and kind of have it on the background and kind of check in as I need to look and just hear it. And then I'll watch it again where I can just focus. I found myself stopping what I was doing and just watching this because I was just engaged in what they were doing. So it was really, really well done. The acting, the action sequences, everything just works with this series so well. It's just the writing sometimes gets away from them. And that's the only reason to me that it keeps it from being a perfect 10. Like there's that point in there where he's like, like Lee referenced it earlier. We're free agents. We don't work. Y'all guys, y'all work for the government. Y'all have to go through all this red tape. We're free agents. We get to do whatever we want to do. And I'm like, well, let me get straight. You're using government technology, government transportation. You're interviewing government witnesses, and there's no ties to the government. I mean, they are jumping out of government planes. Red Wing is government technology. That's how they're tracking them. They're going to go talk to Baron Zemo. I mean,
and Torres is government issue.
Exactly. Yeah, they're making Bucky go to government counseling. I mean, the government is all over this thing. So there's that element to it that I don't necessarily like. Where just sometimes it just seems like the writing kind of gets away from them. Not much, but just a little bit. You know, if you're paying attention, like something about that just doesn't gel. They're not free agents. They're clearly being helped. And the other part of it that they gotta ease up a little bit on the racial issue. I mean, it's just over the head. It kills the subtlety of it when you and hopefully, like I said, that's where it's going. Where it's like, man, it's just so much of it that you kind of. You want to have that impact, like, yeah, this is a major decision because I'm dealing with it. But when you're just beating people over the head with it, I mean, we're at a point right now where the government's racist because they took the shield away from him, lied and gave it to a white dude. The police are racist. The people owning the banks are racist. I mean, name like every single stretch along the way thus far, we've encountered.
Even the little kids that talk racist.
Right. Well, but I mean, that's like innocent racial humor, I suppose. I don't know. But Sam makes comments that are very thoughtful from time to time where he kind of alludes to, America having a troubled history, shall we say. I mean, there was one part in there where he made a comment that was like, where he said something about government resources and like, yeah, usually said by people with all the resources. Or something like that.
Right,
I can't remember what the line was. But there again, a poignant comment, and then it hints at, yeah, there's something bubbling underneath here. And then so hopefully when it comes out, it's just going to like, yeah, I totally get his motivation. But it just kind of seems like they're beating you over the head with it to the point that you've heard it so much now, you're like, ugh, dude, again with this? Y'all just keep working it in every 5 minutes. Let the characters stand on their own for a little bit. You don't have to... Then again, I don't know where they're going. So maybe I'm wrong about what Sam's motivations is ultimately going to be for not taking up the shield originally. But I hope that's what it is, because that seems to me to make the most sense. But yeah, sometimes the writing gets a little sloppy. But other than that, I think this is really, the humor's there. The chemistry is there. The acting is top notch. The action sequences have been unbelievable.
And to go along with it, I think that in this episode too, I think the action sequences were just right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was too much. It was just enough action, but it was just enough humor, and everything was felt kind of balanced. With
I mean, when John Walker throws the shield and catches LeVar as he's falling off the truck,
that was
boom,
cool.
He lands on the shield, and that's how he saves him. I'm like, oh wow, that's really well. Like I never even thought about it. Like the whole idea that you could save somebody using the shield like that—that's just inventive.
Yeah, and he obviously controls the shield well, because you see it in the episode where he's throwing it at targets and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they showed his practice and stuff. But do they say that he's a super soldier?
No, they don't straight out say it.
Yeah, that's
kind of. Even he said it. He's like, I don't have any super abilities or anything like that.
Yeah, right. Super tech.
I wouldn't be surprised though if that's kind of false. If that's kind of misleading. Because like it kind of seemed like, again, in this episode, they kind of made you like, I went into it wanting to hate the dude. And as they kind of set him up and they kind of introduce the character and you're interviewing him and you start to see him relate, you're like, okay, he's a good dude at heart, but he's a goofy dude. I keep forgetting we're on YouTube. So he's a goofy guy. And so, yeah. But at the very end of it, all of a sudden you see the claws come out of that kitty.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Stay out of my way.
Well, here's where I'm predicting the new Captain America and Battlestar are on the side of the power brokers, which is also on the side of the government, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier on the side of the I guess the offshoots flag smashers, or the flag smashers. I envision that battle building up.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
Well, that means too that there's going to be they have to introduce a bigger bad.
And then Isaiah comes out and he says he has one last ride in him and decides to kick some butt.
Now, you know what? But what would make Isaiah want to come? If Isaiah is the inspiration for him to become Captain America, that means they have to have this nice heart-to-heart racial speech, which I would probably
with Sam throw
up. But he's probably gonna say something like, but it was harder for me. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the speech that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hear.
Do it for those of us that can't, Eli.
You don't understand. They didn't let me read.
Do it for who can't do it now.
They didn't let me go out and work in the field.
Yeah. But would you have such a negative opinion of that speech that you know is probably coming?
It's coming.
It's a good guess, and I'm with you 1,000%. Would you have such a negative opinion, like I said before, which is a criticism of mine, if they haven't already beaten you over the head with this so much?
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair. That's a fair question. If it came from, like, Rhodey being War Machine, and then saying, like I said the first time, I am Iron Man, like there's no Tony, I would be the next Iron Man, but I got to figure out my own way, and, like, blah, 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 America's divided, totally get that. This guy comes out, he's way old school. I mean, we're talking way old school. That means that when he has the conversation with Sam about having the shield and whatnot, that's going to be the most relatable guy, but he doesn't relate to him because he didn't even know Isaiah existed. Like, that's going to be the real crazy part of that. But if it came from heroes strictly, yes, I think it would have more impact than doing the basic, I'm watching you, I'm a cop and you black, and, I'm not giving you a loan, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because, yeah, it would have more impact coming from black heroes who are already in the spot where somebody else had the mantle, but they're still carrying it as best as they can. And that's the spot that they would want him to be in. And if only Sam would just spit it out, just completely spit it out without having all of the subtleties of what happens to him, I think that I could get behind the character even more so. Because if that's how you're trying to connect to me at that point, that's like, come on, just you doing hero stuff already. Like if you feel you don't like the country and this and that, stop doing the hero stuff.
Just walk away.
Just walk away.
Just walk away.
Like that makes more sense to me.
Sounds getting kind of low, buddy.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, but I mean, War Machine doesn't have the same. War Machine taking over the Iron Man, like and we're not saying that he did because he's you've never seen that. But let's say that's what happens is that Rhodey is taking on the Iron.
Yeah, man, like he's no scientist,
right? But that does not have the same
impact
as Captain America.
Yeah.
A corporate symbol. A government symbol. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you're representing a country that you have mixed feelings about. I totally get that. I think that's a great motivation, and what a awesome way to go ahead and set up that character, and what a great subject to explore, especially today. I mean, what a great subject to go ahead and explore. But you're cheapening where you're going if you keep
hammering
it with these same old cliches that you've seen in 1,000 different movies.
I'll say this and then I'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it.
Yeah.
If all Sam needs to do is give like a Rambo-like speech about how he feels about the country, because he doesn't address it.
Yes.
We just happen to be poignant enough.
We just know that there's like tension there.
Exactly.
But he hasn't outright explicitly said it.
So if you're a person who's just watching the show, and you're just like, why is all this crazy stuff happening to him? And when they ask him every episode something about this, she's like, man, get off. I want to talk about that. Like,
I thought his line was brilliant where he said, can y'all just accept that I did what I thought was right at the time? I thought that was a brilliant line, and I'm like, oh man, that's a really well stated line, and I'm waiting, and he's like, man, I don't have time.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
I was so sucked into that scene, and it just took you right out.
Because that scene in particular is set up, all these different scenes are set up where he has to confess or say something, and he doesn't say it. So if they just give him
But you know what? It sounds like the whole premise of this episode is like Sam not willing to commit.
And I think that's
fair.
And he's not committing to the statement. He's not committing to the Captain America role. He's not committing to this whole thing, which maybe in the next 4 episodes we find out.
Like this fact that he didn't continue what he was going to say. He's like, man, I'm done. It was, oh man, like it wasn't. I wasn't angry. It was like I wanted to hear him say it.
You wanted him to say it.
Cheated.
Not cheated. It's like
you want him to commit. You want him to say it. Just freaking say it.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to. I mean, it's episodic television, so you're waiting for it to come along. So yeah, you still have 4 more episodes to go. So I didn't feel cheated, but I wanted to hear it right then and there, and that just goes to show how much they've made you connect.
Always leave them wanting more.
That's
right?
That's
right.
the patriotic hero 101 is you give that speech where you stand and you just like, I want more for my country, but I just can't get it because my country don't love me.
Don't want
as
more
much
from
as I
me.
love my country.
That's right.
You know, something like that. You're like, yeah, that boy been in the war. I'll be
That
hard.
boy good. That boy good.
That boy,
Yeah.
get him, Sam. Get
Yeah,
him. Like that's
sexual
what you
chocolate.
want. That's
right.
it.
But we
Randy
all-
Watson.
I think we all agree that's coming.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Right.
is. In the
But you
next
just-
4 episodes, we're going to get that.
But you know, like
Absolutely.
get it early. I'd be happy.
So look, guys, that brings us to the end of our episode. If you are entertained, make sure that you gently touch that like button. I say gently touch because everybody at YouTube says, smash that like button.
Oh,
Don't smash that like button.
No.
Gently touch it, caress it,
it.
and love it.
Yes.
And give us that like you mean it.
With
You
your
know?
eyes.
With your eyes, your soul, your fingers, whatever else.
Yeah.
And look, if you want to hear
we
more
don't want to
from-
give you carpal tunnel.
No.
No, we don't want to do that. Don't smash it, man.
No.
Gently touch it, caress it, love it. And look, if you want to hear more from us, be sure to subscribe to the Magic Our Way podcast. We're available on any podcast platform, so iTunes, Google Music, Ghana over in India. For you guys over in India, thank you for listening. And look, we will always want to hear from you guys, so be sure to leave a comment down below. And we always love hearing from our listeners, y'all. So on behalf of Danny, Eli, Lee, and myself, we say Kwaherini, Magic out.